Buddy, what is going on? My name is Nova. Welcome to Plague Inc. Now, this is a game I'm sure all of you know. It's a game that was hugely popular for me, it was middle school and early high school. It's a game every single person ever had on their iPhones. The game has come out on Steam. The game has then been updated again to have custom content and level builders. And they've also come out with a board game. And they've also come out with a new game called Rebel Inc., which I will also probably be dabbling in a little bit, but I figured it kind of brought this game back to my attention, brought it back on my radar a little bit, and I decided I wanted to play it again, especially with all of the new custom content and things like that. It's a game that I don't think I've put enough time into. You know, there's so much content in it, and I really only played, I think, Bacteria and Virus, and then I think I stopped. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into this game. Yes, I'm going to start a new game. We're going to go ahead and do Bacteria on Brutal. Mega Brutal unlocks after you beat it on Brutal. And we're going to just name this, what are we going to name this bacteria? I guess, I don't know. We'll just random a few times. We're going to call it Terminal Gas. That sounds good to me. And as far as our genetic code, we don't really have anything because I haven't played this game too much. Again, this is me trying to get back into this game. You can either have a chance to spread on land or a chance to spread in the air. I want the chance to spread on the land because I find that the air is something that you generally mutate relatively quickly, just anyways, so having the additional air transmission really isn't going to do anything for us. And if you're unfamiliar with this game, essentially the way that it goes is you pick a place in the world to start your disease, in our case it's a bacteria, and you try and spread it to the entire world to infect the world and hopefully eventually bring them down. So that is kind of our goal at the moment. I do need to turn on I believe I have the auto pause function turned on. Let me see if that works. Yeah, okay. I had that off last time and it really kind of bit me in the ass because there would be times where a pop-up would come up and the game would keep running and I couldn't keep up with it, and so I lost a couple times just because the game kind of kept rolling when I wasn't prepared to handle it. So what we're gonna want to do is infect the entire world without anybody knowing, and then we go ahead and give them like the most brutal symptoms possible. If you've played this game before, you're probably very familiar with this strategy. I don't know if it works on Mega Brutal, but I believe it still works on Brutal, as long as you stay on top of the symptoms early game so that it has time to spread. We do want to get both air and water too, as quickly as possible, just so that it's more effective at spreading around the world. That's kind of, at least for now, that's our goal. Is we just want to spread it. We want everybody to get it, but we don't want anybody to know. So it looks like we're starting to get some progress. Look at this. We're starting to get going what we need. Return from Valley Monument Inside Out. Okay, some of the little news flashes up at the top are kind of funny. So sometimes I do like to read those. And we do want to get extreme bioaerosol as quickly as possible because that essentially guarantees that we will spread everywhere. It'll spread. I mean, the other ones I've found, as far as, you know, blood transfers and transferring through rats and things like that, I found that they aren't nearly as effective as just getting extreme bioaerosol and just kind of letting it do its thing. I do know on Mega Brutal, though, something that I've seen on a couple videos I've looked at. Okay, see, now that we have a rash, I want to evolve that. Because again, I don't want anyone to know. But essentially, on Mega Brutal, the lie in wait tactic doesn't work, from what I have seen. So you have to be a little bit more creative with it, and you have to just make it such an aggressive virus or bacteria or whatever it is you're doing that they can't keep up with it. I'm also not very good at strategy games. It's not something I necessarily take to. The only game that has any sort of strategy in it, even that would be calling it, that would be asking, a lot of the game is Call of Duty Zombies is a game that I got pretty good at, because there's obviously kind of strategies and runs you can do for that. And that's really the closest I have ever gotten to like a strategy game. I guess I did get into the Darkest Dungeon for a little bit, but I'm really not good at strategy games. So this whole thing is a little bit of a challenge for me. So we are going to go ahead and get heat and cold resistances, both of them, just so that it can spread everywhere. And now we just kind of wait. Stay on top of the symptoms and wait. It's on fast forward. So yeah, I hope this still works on brutal, because it worked flawlessly on normal. I didn't even play easy. It just kind of skips right over. You just jump right into brutal or normal. It just skips right over casual mode. Doesn't even ask you about it. Okay, see, the coughing symptom is mutated, and because we have auto pause, we can remove it before it becomes a problem. And that's, I think, what I was missing last time. So I didn't leave that on. And see, things like this are why I left it on extra transmission on land, because as you can see, we have it spread in a lot of different places, except Greenland, which always holds out on me. But places like the US and Canada have really high-end healthcare, so they don't, it doesn't spread that quickly. And so if we have the extra land potency, I'm hoping that will help us muscle through that a little bit to get that full world infection. We finally got Greenland. Okay. Now at this point, we just need to wait. We just need everybody to get the sickness. I believe every country has it. We just need to wait for every person to get it independently. As long as we stay on top of the symptoms, I don't see why we couldn't do that. And we do have over 100 DNA, so I think we're sitting pretty as far as getting to, if you don't know the strategy. I guess I'll go over it in a minute, it would make more sense, but kind of the strategy is once everyone's infected, you just go for the most aggressive symptoms in the game, which are like coma and total organ failure. And that's kind of where we want to get right now. And with having over 100 DNA and being as infective as we are, I do think there's a very high chance of that. So we just need to wait for the US, Canada. Looks like Sweden is holding out on us. Looks like Japan is holding out a little bit. But yeah, we just need to kind of sit and wait. Hopefully sooner rather than later, everybody gets this disease and we can wipe them all out. Come on. Now the thing that's frustrating is because I didn't realize that the auto pause feature was not on. I had about 4 or 5 attempts in a row at this where I got about this far and then they spotted me because a symptom would crop up and the game didn't stop, so I didn't have time to deal with it. They just immediately caught it. And so I would get this far into it and then I would lose. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why are you playing Plague Inc? Like, this game's not even really relevant anymore. I know. I just think it's a fun game. I don't know. I figured I wanted to get back into it anyways. I've kind of been watching a lot of videos on it recently, and I guess it's piqued my interest again. And I wanted to play it anyways, so I figured I might as well post it for some content, and hopefully you guys get some enjoyment out of it. Since my computer is still down, I haven't really had many options for producing new content, and I think this might be a decent way to do it. Come on. Just need the US and Canada. It's always Canada that holds out the longest. Probably because their healthcare is free and very, very good. But yeah, at this point, like, nobody else is free of this disease except for the US and Canada. Mainly Canada. The US is starting to get hit pretty hard with it. That's what I like to see. Bacteria's doing its work. But yeah, Canada's always the hardest one to get, and I don't know why. I guess I don't blame them, but I've noticed that Alaska never lights up red when the US gets hit. I guess they just bundled it in with Canada as one big landmass. Which, I mean, would make sense. It's probably easier that way. Having to find the line up there where Alaska is. Make that color too. Okay, well, the US is basically gone now too. Just waiting on Canada. Come on, Canada. See, they're getting it. It's just not very fast. And you know, there's, what, like a couple, like million, 100 million people in Canada or something? So, we've still got a ways to go, but it looks like now that they're all that's left, it's actually spreading pretty quick. Just good to see. You need to stop mutating symptoms on me. Stop. No symptoms. Nobody needs to know. Especially not this close. As soon as nobody's healthy, comes the fun part, in my opinion, where you get to devolve all of the transmission symptoms, or transmission methods, and just go all out into symptoms, because there's no need to transmit it if everybody in the world has it. Which at first I thought was a little interesting. I thought there might still be a little bit of a need for transmission, because while everyone has the disease, they might not have that aggressive strain of it, but I guess that's not how the game thinks of it. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of times it'll say 99% of the world is gotten, but that's because some of the people have died. So, at least on, yeah, see, and if you go to the world, it says 99%, not 100, and that's because there's people that died since you started. Oh, I never got the aerosol thing, I never got that, okay. So now we can evolve these. And I think this is the easiest way to do this. I believe this is the fastest way to go about this. But yeah, at this point you can just kind of pick anything you want. Everybody in the world has it now that it has really incredibly deadly like symptoms. You can see that people are dying in the tens of millions at a time. So while yes, they did start working on a cure, I think we've already beaten them to it. Yeah, I think we're killing them off faster than they're making that cure. And if we wanted to stick it to them even more, we could go ahead and get genetic hardening. We could do a genetic reshuffle on them, make it even harder. Just set them back even more. And we could even reshuffle it again. Sets them back another 10%, which gives us more than enough time to just sit and watch the world burn. So yeah, as you can see, bacteria is pretty straightforward, but it could always go wrong, as it has for me several times. So I'm glad that we finally got down and beat it. Feels good. But yeah, I mean, this is the most basic of them, so now we get to move on to virus, which I know is a lot faster mutating, and it's got a couple little tricks up its sleeve, but it shouldn't be too bad. Any second now. Just a few million people left. And now at this point I don't care what symptoms it mutates. In fact, what other symptoms can we give them? Some seizures? Might as well. Oh, and the cure actually went down a couple percentages. I noticed after I added after I added another symptom. Probably because they don't know how to keep up with something that mutates this aggressively. Walking Dead symptom combo. I've already gotten that, but thank you. Alright, we have completed... Oh, I've unlocked cheats. That's cool. We have successfully eliminated all life on Earth, so... that is that. Bacteria, terminal gas wiped out the world in just about... what is that, about 4 years?